This awesome looking motorcycle is the Moto Guzzi V7iii Stone Night Pack. Stay tuned for my full review of this retro beast. You won't want to miss it. The Moto Guzzi V7 keeps with that typical heritage styling of the V750. It is a true retro style motorbike with a decent amount of modern Moto Guzzi aspects thrown in too. This Night Pack Edition V7 has full LED lighting, offering plenty of illumination from the new headlight along the new LED taillights and indicators. The headlight and instrument panel have been lowered and there's a shorter and slimmer rear mudguard too. It is fair to say in the short time we've been testing this bike, it has been a real head turner, and the colourway option in bronze is absolutely stunning. The seat height on the Moto Guzzi V7 is very accessible, coming in at 770mm, so a great seat height for most riders. As you would expect for a bike of this nature, it isn't the lightest and comes in at around 209kg with fuel. You won't likely need to fill up often with the V7 as it has a very impressive 21 litre fuel tank, which includes a 4 litre reserve. Moto Guzzi stay true to the heritage of the V750 and keep the switchgear and display very clean and simple. No rev counter, so a speedometer and odometer take up most of the display along the typical warning lights. The braking on the Moto Guzzi V7iii is provided with one large 320mm floating disc at the front and a 260mm floating disc at the rear. Both have Brembo calipers. Suspension is provided by hydraulic telescopic forks at the front and 2 shock absorbers on the rear. The engine is a 744cc air-cooled unit producing 52 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 60 Nm of torque at 4,900 RPM. Including on-the-road costs, the Moto Guzzi V7iii Stone Night Pack can be yours from £7,499. So let's take this out on the road. Hello, welcome to the road ride section on this, the Moto Guzzi V7iii Stone Night Pack Edition. Let's start off with those looks, those heritage looks. It is a stunning motorcycle, but Moto Guzzi are clearly just working and trying to keep this bike as similar to that original V750 as much as possible. I've been on the saddle of this bike for a good few hours now, ridden it back from Silverstone, ridden it around most of South Norfolk a few times. And it's a unique bike. I don't think there's many going which you can compare to this. Yes, there's loads of retro and heritage style bikes out there, but how many stick so true to the original version? Not many. This is still made in Italy. How many still get produced in the same place? Again, I don't think you'll probably find any, to be honest. So manual handling, if you're short ass like me, your legs are a bit more further away, so they're not touching the exhaust and engine. That big 750 V-twin just sticking out sideways. Obviously it's shaft driven as well, so it's just getting used to that engine and being shaft driven with those revs. But I mean, it's only producing just over 50 horsepower, so it's not like it's a terrifying experience. This would be a great bike to get restricted for an A2. You're definitely not going to scare yourself on it. Oh, listen to that V-twin go. Woohoo! Oh, get some air in that jacket and cool me down, please, Guzzi. Woo! Ah, that was nice. So when it comes to braking on the Guzzi, we have a single disc at the front and a single disc at the back. And they're not crazy sharp, that's the back. And then put some front on, there we go. So nice, the front is really active. It's not a sharp, it's not a maniac. So the ride and feel of the V7, the seat is very, very comfortable. I've ridden this back from Silverstone for over 2.5 hours. I've ridden it about South Norfolk quite a lot, thanks to me having this camera in the wrong position. Slightly too far, don't ask, I'm very upset about it. But yeah, I've ridden this bike quite a lot, and this seat is very, very comfy. The suspension is quite soft, which is nice with that seat, but on certain bumps, dampening is not so good, so you do feel it a little bit. But you've got to remember, this is a heritage style bike, so overall comfort's a winner. You just don't want to go over lots of potholes on it particularly quickly. Let's do another test on those brakes. So that front disc and rear there, and front, there we go. So that's obviously not throwing it on, but it's the kind of braking you'd expect with this type of motorcycle. It's not nuts, but it's more than adequate and brings you to a halt safely. So I'm more of a rear brake kind of person, but admittedly I am used to using this front brake a lot more on this bike, just because the back is that gradual. So yeah, you find with that weight and the size of this bike, it holds the road really well. On motorways, dual carriageways, going past lorries, it just holds it superbly, and you don't feel that vulnerable on it. It feels nice and solid. It's just got your back all day long, which is really nice. Now, although it is over 200 kilograms, it's not the, it's not heavy, but it's not the lightest. It is nice and manoeuvrable. Obviously, I do find at slower speeds, with that weight at the front, with that V-twin, you have to kind of plan things a bit better. Well, not better, but you just got to think about the bend a bit more until you get that confidence with this bike and that you're working completely in harmony with it. But it's just getting used to it like any bike, really. I just find with that weight there, I just need to be a bit more kind of precautious. Make sure I'm happy with it all. I don't just go flying in like a maniac. And that's the other thing with this. This isn't a maniac's bike. It's just over 50 horsepower, about 60 newton meters of torque. So it's not a lunatic's machine, although you can definitely have fun on it, a lot of fun on it, and go for a lot of overtakes. It's the kind of bike that as soon as you're on it, you're a bit more reserved. You're not all out speed, you're not bothered by that. You're just enjoying the travels, that you're enjoying the road, the scenery, everything about it. So at BikeMatters, we are powered by Lexham Insurance, who are moped, scooter and motorcycle insurance specialists in the UK. Not only do they power us, but they're giving our viewers, BikeMatters viewers, a chance of saving £20 off their insurance premiums. So all you have to do is get a quote with Lexham directly by clicking that link in the top right hand corner now. You'll go through to their quotation page. Then if you take out a policy from that quotation, you'd automatically have £20 taken off your insurance premium. How cool is that? Hi ho! Woohoo! Bit back brake, if I said that properly. Front brake, there we go. See, nice, and does the job, doesn't it? Oh, listen to that V-twin, drinking all that fuel, sounding mighty fine. It's not the loudest bike, but that V-twin, there you go. If you can also see on the dial there you go. Hopefully you see the red flashing. So that scared the life out of me when I first rid this bike. I was just about to go on the M1, and it was then just flashing bright red, and I didn't see it at the time. It said up gear, and that's all it said. But I saw the bright red flashing hazard warning light. I was like, ah shit, what have I done? And yeah, just turns out that that red hazard warning light is just telling me to change gear. So I'm grateful for that one. Power. Proper going for it this evening, people. Let's get us down a couple of gears. Should be in fourth. There we go. We're in fourth. Let's get it in third. I'm enjoying myself now. I'm proper enjoying it. buzzing. Woo! Brake. I'm starting to love this bike the more I'm on it. I really am. To start off with, I was a bit tentative, getting used to that weight. Woo! Aha! So yeah, back to actually talking about motorcycles, shall we? This is the night pack edition. So we've got all LED lighting, and the headlight is slightly lowered to give you better visibility from those lights at night time. Now I'm going to get distracted here because I love this bend. Oh, things happen on this bend. Oh. So yeah, this is the night pack. It's got the extra lights, but let's face it, it's still so vintage looking. So we have those dual exhausts on the back, and that V-twin, then going to that shaft drive. I just love how unapologetic Moto Guzzi are about how they do things. So the fuel tank on the Moto Guzzi is 21 litres. 21 litres! And you're probably around 64 miles per gallon, I would guess, as I pull over. 21 litres, 64 miles per gallon. You ain't going to fill up very often, people. No. Now it also does have traction control, 2 modes, so not sure why it's necessary to have traction control, but it's on there anyway. So yeah, that's always a handy little extra to have. So the seat height on the V7iii is 770 millimeters, which is a really lovely accessible seat height. I'm a mighty 5'6" in height. Yeah, it's alright, I'm pretty short. But that means I get on really well with this bike. Both feet to the ground, absolutely fine. I think most people would get on really well with this seat height. And then on top of that, you're on that lovely padded seat, which is really, really comfortable. Like I say, I've done a lot of miles on this bike, and I haven't had a numb ass at all. And it's a really nice neutral seating position. Ever so slightly forward, but again, that's probably because I'm short-armed. But it's a really nice neutral seating position. Lovely and comfortable. Yeah, you can still get your shoulders down when you're feeding some more revs into the fella. So back to heritage looks. We've got that V-twin, that 750. Then it goes through to that shaft drive onto this heritage looking beastie. So expect the revs to behave differently than your normal motorcycle. It's obviously a V-twin, so your gears aren't as long as you'd expect compared to other bikes. So you might find yourself having to change gear a little bit sooner than you're used to if you're not used to a V-twin. Oh, the smell of fish and chips is doing some damage. Right, exhaust test time. Let's hope I don't muck it up. Yes, you know, some bits are not as refined as others. I find neutral is very, very delicate. But the more I've ridden it, the more I've gotten used to it. So it's just one of those things that, as a new rider on this bike, you just get used to it. It is delicate, but you know, by a few times of doing it, it's like, oh yeah, I've done that. The clutch I find will be a little bit on the heavy side after a long time of riding it. So right now, I've been probably going 40 minutes or so. Not a problem at all, but for a long ride you might just start feeling a little bit of fatigue in that hand from the clutch. It's not the lightest, it's not the heaviest. So that brings us to an end of this video. I really hope you like my review on the Moto Guzzi V7iii Stone Night Pack Edition. I've absolutely loved testing it. It's just such a true heritage style bike. I don't think you can get much of a true heritage style bike. But it's got so much character to it. And I know it's always the thing, you kind of fall back, but it has got character. And the more you spend on this bike, well, I have especially, the more I spend on this bike, the more I just love it. It does have its quirks, it does have its less refined areas. I think that's what helps give it character, you know. But anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you have, you got this far, go on, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any comments, questions, you know to put them in the sections below. If you own a V7, we'd love to know how you get on with it. Put that in the comment section below as well. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and you like our content, go on, hit that subscribe button, and while you're there, hit that notification bell as well. We have a lot of content coming out soon, reviews, top 10s, the whole lot. So yeah, stay tuned everybody, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.